rock and roll music, rock music, it's a wide genre today. It extends to actually powerfully capable rock bands who are sonically amazing. The sounds that they produce, the music they produce. Queen, brilliant. My son is into System of a Down, and I love the sonic element of that band. The one element that I think is important is that as a rock musician, you, in my opinion, you don't have to go to school to learn how to rock. I said this in my interview portion earlier. I'd like to re-emphasize and discuss it for a moment. Rock and roll music by nature is a heartfelt music. It is art. Any form of rock that pleases you is the direction you have to take, because that's why you play guitar or bass or drums. You play to represent some feeling inside of you. So I'm 100% with that, and by stating you never want to compromise that. You never compromise the music you love. Yet, as a learning musician, to go to a school or buy the accoutrements of rock and roll education, whatever they may be, in my opinion, is not going to get you what you want. In my opinion, you don't go to school to learn how to rock. You don't study so-called academic elements of rock. And the reason is, in support of, again, just a historical support, I've often asked people to make a list of 20 or so guys in the world that have gone to school to learn how to rock and who have acquired the success in rock through their rock studies. If you can't come up with a decent list of I mean, more than enough people to justify the money that goes into going to these schools or buying these lessons of rock and roll, then the system of rock education is flawed and doesn't work. If the education of lawyers didn't work, we wouldn't have a large legal community out there. We wouldn't have a large medical community out there. The Food Network wouldn't be as popular as it is with people who have learned how to cook either in school. They've mentioned the CIA, which is the Culinary Institute, I think. People have learned through academic approach. However, in rock and roll, you don't learn through academic approach because rock and roll is not an academic music. Rock and roll is the passionate music. It's a music of feeling. It is an art. You don't learn an art as an art's sake as rock and roll music, in my opinion, in a music school. You buy CDs and you do it the way every rock musician, just about, in all of history of music worldwide, has done it. If rock education worked, there would be more rockers who have some kind of success, if not international success, regional success. Something would have happened. But I've looked and seen that most successful players in rock and roll did it on their own, because rock is a music that does not get acquired in a classroom. There are two lives all musicians can have, and the two lives are an art life and an academic life. That's a player school tenet right there. We separate, and I've always separated these two lives, because when you come into a music school or study music, you can't be asked to give up the music you love. It's not right. But I will ask people to put their music that they love on the side so that they can become academicians. They can become people who learn academic music for the facts that it entails. So if you're a rocker, don't give that up ever. Play exactly and however you wish. As a learning musician, you develop that way, and by doing both, you become capable and grow in two areas of music where most people sometimes barely can learn in one. So if you're an older person like I am, and you haven't gotten better as a musician by the things you've been practicing, rock education, rock devices, things like this, learning tools will not help you, in my opinion. I would learn music from fact, and that is how a musician gets better as a rocker. Because I say again, you play a jazz line, and you do that through, let's say, 4 huge amp stacks through distortion pedals, no one's going to call you a jazzer. You are playing rock music. If the drummer is playing a hard 2 and 4, then you are a rocker. It's not about, let's say, the notes you sometimes choose, and that's why academic music can be learned, but it's about how you play it, and that's the art, and that's why rockers really don't need a school to get better.